Well, hey there, Becca here from Inside the Square, and welcome to your free training on getting started with Squarespace 7.1. I am so excited to share this with you today. Before we dive in, super important legal information. The term Squarespace is a trademark of Squarespace Incorporated. This content is not affiliated with Squarespace Incorporated. I am just a Squarespace designer and a Squarespace user, and I love teaching other people about how awesome this platform is. So, before we dive into this presentation, I made you something fabulous. I created a free guide for you to help you get started with this new interface. There should be a link either below this video or on the right-hand side of this video, depending upon your screen size there. Go ahead and click that link to download the guide. It'll open up in a new tab. Bunch of information in there for you to get started with Squarespace 7.1 after you finish watching this training. All right? Here's what we're going to cover in this training. We're going to talk about the brand new templates, and I'm going to let you in on a pretty big secret about those. Then we're going to talk about creating individual pages and the different types of pages that you can find in 7.1. I also want to talk to you about the brand new design menus that we have here in Squarespace 7.1, some interesting features there. And then I also want to talk to you about customizing your site, because if we all start with the same template, how the heck do you make it unique? I have some neat ideas that I want to share with you. So let's talk about these templates. Which one do you start with? What's the difference? There are a lot of different options out there, and they all look pretty darn unique. But I'm going to let you in on the big 7.1 secret. All of these 7.1 templates are exactly the same. That's right, they're exactly the same. Everything in the back end of these templates is exactly the same across the board. So whatever you start with, you can literally make it look like any other Squarespace 7.1 template that you've seen out there. So that's why you can't change templates like you used to be able to do in Squarespace. Whatever template you start with, you can make it look like any other Squarespace 7.1 template that's out there. So if they're all the same, why does it matter where you start? I actually consider it a big time saver. There are 3 things that I take into account when picking out a new template. I think about page types. If I'm creating a website that's going to need a blog, or it's going to need an online store, or it's going to need a bunch of different image galleries, I'm going to start with a template that already has those page types on it. That's going to save me a bunch of time. The next thing I look into are the font styles. Yes, we can change the fonts to just about anything we want, and we're going to cover that later in this training, but when we're talking about saving some time and getting started with the right template, if I choose one that already has font styles similar to what I'm going for, it's going to be really easy for me to visualize how this website's going to look when I'm finished. So I'll start with page types that are similar, and then I'll move on to fonts. See what fonts look like, what I'm actually going for my end result. On that same note, color themes. I kind of think along the same lines there. I like to select sites that have color themes very similar to the ones I'm going for. Again, all 3 of these are just time savers. It genuinely doesn't matter which template you start with because you can make all the changes you want to make it look like any other 7.1 template. I consider these 3 my major time savers. Now, how do you narrow the list down by these 3 options? I actually have a blog to help you do just that. At its71.com, I've actually organized all of the templates by page types and by color themes, header layouts, and even purpose. Use this free blog to narrow down your choices by the 3 categories we just talked about: page types, font styles, and color themes. Should be a helpful resource for you. So now that you know that big secret about templates, let's talk about your page types. There are actually 5 major page types that you're going to be working with here. The first type of page I want to talk about is just a standard page. This is a page that we can add different sections to and put just about any content we want on there. I'll walk you through how to create one of those later on in this training. The second type of page we have is a blog. A blog is what's known as a collection page, and it actually showcases all of the blog posts within that blog on your site. Little pro tip, you can have multiple blogs on any Squarespace site. I actually have 4 of them on InsideTheSquare.co, and I use them for different things. So that's a different type of collection page. Another collection page is a store. You can have an online store on your Squarespace website, and again, you can have multiple types of these collection pages if you want to have multiple stores available in Squarespace. You can also have a portfolio page. A portfolio page presents different projects. These projects are very similar to a standard page and they live inside a portfolio. Then you can also have events. That's the last type of collection page that we have listed on here. Events are where you have a very specific date and time for something that's actually happening. Now, an interesting thing to note about Squarespace 7.1 are the types of pages that have second level pages. That means you can start off with a website address that's yoururl.com or .co, whatever, and then you'll have a / and the first URL. That first URL is your level 1, and that can be blog /store / my portfolio name, whatever you'd like it to be. And then when people go to a page inside your blog, a particular blog post, or a product inside your store, that's going to be the second level. To send someone directly to a blog post, the URL you'll share will be your URL / the name of your blog / the post. So those are second level pages available in blogs, stores, portfolios, and events. Now, let's talk about those standard pages. I'm going to hop into my demo site here and show you exactly how to make one. I'm going to navigate to my pages menu at the very top. And then here, I'm going to click this plus sign. Now I want you to know we've got 2 plus signs here and there is a difference. If I click a plus sign here, whatever page I create is going to go in the main navigation of my site. So if I'm making a page and I don't want it to be on my main navigation while I'm creating it, I want to work on it behind the scenes, I should click the plus sign here so it's in the not linked section of my site. So I'll click that plus sign and we can either start with the blank page or a page layout. Now just how these different templates can save us time, page layouts can do the same thing. I'm going to click that page layout and you'll see here we have a lot of different pre-made pages that we can select. Squarespace has put this together to make things a little bit easier for us. You can click on any one of these page types, be it an appointment, a gallery, a contact page, and there will be content already on that page for you to work with. Just like the templates, however, these are incredibly customizable. If you click one, you are not limited to just what's on that page, and let me show you. We'll click Contact One. Squarespace will create the page for us, and as soon as I select this edit button right here, we'll see all of the different options that we have. So in this page, anywhere that you see a plus sign means you can add a new section to it. If I click that plus sign, I can add a blank section or again, choose from one of these time-saving pre-made sections that they have over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and add a blank so you can see just how customizable these really are. So now that we have this blank section, you'll see I already have the ability to add some text, but if you'll notice this little gray droplet popping up here, that gives me the opportunity to add any content block I want. Yep, any content block out there, from text to an image to a button, collage image, a map. Let's go ahead and just put a map in there and call it good. Now check it out. That map is added to that section and I can put it above or below that contact form I grabbed from the pre-made one, completely customizable. I'll go ahead and select save so we can hop on out of there. And while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and grab one more of these pre-made page layouts so I can show you some of the other options within an individual page. I just clicked that first one, general one. I'll go ahead and hit enter, and I'm going to select edit up here on the top left-hand side so we can see what these sections can do. So you'll see in this pre-made layout, I have multiple sections with content in them already. Now let's say I just don't want to have a quote there. I can click that trash can button and remove that section and we'll be good to go. Let's say this section is great, but I actually want to add one more button underneath this image. I can click that droplet, grab a button, and change that button to say button or whatever I'd like, change the size of it, move it over to the left or the right, and of course change the URL so that button actually takes someone somewhere. We'll go ahead and click apply so we'll be good to go because we've got one more thing I want to show you inside these individual sections. That is our section editing menu. You'll notice anytime I hover in a section here, I've got this editing icon popping up on the top right-hand side. There are so many things to explore here. I'm going to click that editing icon and pull this over the center so you can see. Here we can adjust the section height, making it small, medium, or large. You'll see the section change as we've clicked around there. Or I can click on these 3 little dots and we can actually adjust the height of that section to something specific. Now the number on the right-hand side is updating with that little bar right there, but I can also just type in something like 50. We can also do the same thing for content width, making it super narrow or super wide, and again, adjusting that to our heart's content. Now you can adjust something like the height or the width, and if it's not on the smallest setting, you can change the alignment to top, middle, or bottom, far left, far right, or right in the center. Totally up to you. This is also where you add a background to a section. You can upload an image. If you delete this one and select search images, you can search the Unsplash database or the images you have already imported on your site. I'm going to select close because you can also click here to add a video. Any video that's on Vimeo or YouTube, you can use in a background. Then you can also change your colors. I have a completely separate training video for you all about your color themes here, so don't worry about this one too much. But when you're working in a page section, this is how you easily navigate to those color themes. Again, another training video about that one. We're going to get to that stuff later. Right now, I just wanted to make sure you understood how to change the height, width, and alignment and the background options for individual sections. I'll show you how I got there one more time. We'll go ahead and select save. Now, any page that you're on, you need to hop into edit mode. On this top left-hand side, I'll select edit. Once I'm there, I can grab this editing icon for any section that I'm in, and that's going to open up our editing menu. This editing menu allows us to change the height of the section. We can adjust this right here to make it super big or super small, and then we can also change the width of this section, adjusting these options here as well. Content alignment is underneath that. And then we have background images where you can upload an image or search for one. You can also upload a video by linking to Vimeo or YouTube. You've got a lot of selection options here. Oh, very important. I can't believe I almost forgot this. Your mobile fallback image. If your video isn't displayed on mobile browsers, you need to have an image as backup. If you don't have an image there, it's just going to pull the background color from whatever color theme you're in. But if you have a video on your website, make sure you upload a mobile fallback image if you don't want it to be a solid color. Alrighty, so again, that's just clicking this edit icon for any section. Have some fun with that. Definitely explore those options. Even if you're starting with a pre-made layout, you have all kinds of customizable options here in that editing menu. So what I just used in that example was one of those pre-made designer layouts in Squarespace 7.1. A lot of designers have asked me which one's the best one to start with, and I've got the same answer for you that I do about those templates. Whatever one is going to save you the most time. If you see a pre-made layout that already has content blocks that are just like the ones you want to use in your Squarespace site, grab that pre-made layout and then customize the heck out of it. But if you know that you have a lot of creative stuff you want to try and none of those layouts really match, then start with a blank page and add as many sections and pieces of content that you want to make sure that that page reflects exactly the design style that you're going for. Because you've got to remember that number one secret, all 7.1 templates are exactly the same. Now I've made some additional trainings to go along with this content here. I have a training on your page settings, a training on portfolio and projects, image galleries, and creating a blog. When you're done with this first training video, hop into those and keep learning. There's a lot of information there for us to dive into, but I didn't want to take up the entire presentation getting into details about creating a blog if that's not something you're interested in. So check out those additional training videos on page settings, portfolios and projects, image galleries, or creating a blog if those are things that you'd like to explore. So for this getting started video, let's start talking about your design menus. Your fonts and color menus have a lot more options hidden underneath some advanced settings. In Squarespace 7.1, you can actually use any Adobe or Google font that you want to for any type of heading or paragraph, metadata, or even your site title. There are a lot of options there, so I have an additional training on fonts beneath this video. You can also make a lot of changes to your color menus. There are designer palettes you can work with or custom colors, but customizations even beyond that. A really exciting training on that is also below. The one menu I wanted to hop into in this getting started introduction here is your animation menu. Let's hop into my demo site so I can show you that one. So here in my demo site, I'm going to navigate to design, and we've got fonts and colors up here. Again, I have additional trainings on those in the videos beneath this one, so definitely check those out. I'm going to select animations, and here you can see that we can actually apply different animations to our site. A fade animation, if I click on this one, we'll get a preview. All of the elements fade in. We can also select scale, where they're going to kind of zoom in. We can select slide, giving them the ability to slide up, or Clip, which gives them a chance to clip down and show piece by piece. We can do this super fast, or we can do it incredibly slow if we'd like to. But all of these animation styles are new to Squarespace 7.1, and they'll apply to every page in your website, and every element in your website as well. You can change some animations for specific things, like image galleries, so definitely explore those opportunities if you are creating an image gallery on your site. But for site-wide animations, I'll show you how I got there one more time. From our main menu, we navigated to design, and then I selected animations, our third option down. Awesome, so let's recap. We've talked about those new templates. You have a lot of options with those new templates out there to explore, but keep in mind, those are just time savers. Whatever you start with, you can update to match any look and feel that you'd like to using Squarespace 7.1. We also talked about your different page types. You have a standard page, which you can add different sections to, or you can select a collection, a blog, a store, an events page, or a portfolio with different projects inside that portfolio. The important thing to know about those page types is that only collection pages are going to have those 2-level URLs. Standard pages just have the one URL associated with them. For additional training on those page types, check out the other videos beneath this one. We also talked about your design menus briefly. You've got fonts and colors, and then you have your animations. Now your fonts and color menus are really exciting stuff, so I have 2 separate videos about that also listed beneath this video here. Definitely explore those. And then last but not least, I want to talk to you about customizing, because we've got to go back to that main secret. All 7.1 templates are the same. So how do you turn a standard template into a unique site? Well, right off the bat, layout options. We have tons of different layout options inside individual pages to adjust the height and width of things. You can move content around, images above text, text above images, add a video if you want to. Changing up the content and the layout are the 2 easiest ways to turn a standard template into a unique site. But I'm here to tell you that simple design changes can make a really big difference. So I went ahead and created some for you. Inside the free guide that went with this training, I have some copy and paste CSS codes that you can use specifically in Squarespace 7.1. Things like how to change the color of a button on a hover. That's not something that Squarespace does in a standard site. That's something that you have to code to create that effect yourself. And that simple design change is going to make a really big difference. So the other big 7.1 secret I want to share with you is that you can tell it to do anything with a little bit of custom code. Some of the design changes that I wrote for you in your guide are how to create a landing page, for example. If you have a freebie or an opt-in that you want to send someone to, you can use a little bit of code to remove the header and footer of a page and just show them the content you want them to see. I also have a code in there to help you update mobile font size. Squarespace will automatically resize the content of your site on a mobile device, but to be totally honest, sometimes the font doesn't look the way that I want it to. So I have a super simple code that you can use to change your mobile font size, so when someone reads your website on a device, it's actually going to look the way you want it to. And I also have that first code I alluded to, the button hover color. That's arguably one of my favorite codes because it's the first custom CSS code I ever used myself when I started working with websites a good decade ago. If you're brand spanking new to all things custom CSS, this guide is going to get you started in the right direction, and I also want you to check out my free code tutorial library. I have a bunch of different options because I've been doing this for years. I can teach you how to change things like form buttons or your announcement bar, all kinds of fun codes to share there at insidethesquare.co. But if you're not a beginner, if you're not brand new to code, but you need some help with 7.1 specifically, definitely check out my CSS cheat sheet. I've updated the cheat sheet to have codes for 7.1. There are over 30 pages of copy and paste code snippets and element names written specifically for Squarespace. So if you're not brand new to CSS, but you want some help with 7.1 specifically, this is what you need right here. You can grab your copy today at insidethesquare.co/CSS. And for those of you that want to go beyond just copy and paste and really want to understand custom code and learn how to become an expert at CSS for Squarespace, definitely check out my signature course at customcodeacademy.com. I get into all kinds of cool stuff, teaching you everything I know about how to code custom, unique Squarespace sites. I focus solely on CSS for Squarespace, and I teach you how to understand the code, so instead of copy and pasting, you're writing your own. So this course is for designers that are really ready to level up. If you're still in that exploratory mode there and just learning a bit about custom CSS, definitely check out the cheat sheet, insidethesquare.co/CSS. And if you're brand spanking new, I want you to start with all that awesome free content I have out there. Check out my free code tutorial library at insidethesquare.co. Tons of information to help you get started with customizing 7.1. And don't forget, you have 4 more training videos beneath this one right here. I have information about your page settings, which are really important when creating your very first site. Then I have some deep dives on portfolios and projects, image galleries, and creating a blog in Squarespace 7.1. So check out those other training videos to keep this education train rolling. And don't forget, you have that free guide that I made for you, has a lot more information to help you get started with Squarespace 7.1. And that's actually it for my getting started intro video here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something awesome. Go ahead and hop into those other trainings and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.